Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. And Vic getting on me already. I'm not. Oh yeah, I am 5 minutes late. Goddamn. And Vic says, "Z, you late, LL? Even though I got up for this, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here." Right? Look. uh, that was on purpose. That was a purpose evil laugh, right? Um. So first, we're not gonna really shove this in Conscious Lee's face. We are going to actually um speak to him on how this is still a halfway apology, and you still ain't really apologized though. There's an arc to this, by the way. You still didn't really apologize, not really. This was real comfortable and milk toast and soft. It sound nice. I see a lot of brothers in the comment section thanking you, certain sisters thanking you. I see a lot of people being like, "Oh, it takes a big person to apologize." There's a couple of people that said, "No, they would have never apologized." Well, we know who you are. Thank you for letting us know that you can murder someone and you won't apologize. You can, do something heinous and you wouldn't apologize. That's great to know for all of those people who ego matters more. And I'm glad that he did say it was his ego. Shout out to Conscious Lee for that. Right? So I'm going to go through a couple of points. First, consciously, you made your apology about you, not the people that you were disrespecting. You weren't upfront about the details and why people had a problem with your stance and framing. Mm. You still did not address that you and others aligned with Rhoda against black men. Very important there, very important. You didn't address the fact that Rhoda got your support and others like you support because she was selling and trafficking on the old trope of bad black man targeting innocent black women, that type of narrative. You still didn't address that, right? You didn't address that. You said you were apologizing for not being brutally honest, and you still were not brutally honest, right? Or better yet, you're apologizing and you're going to be brutally honest, and you still weren't brutally honest. Half, if not most, of your comments have very little contrition in there, right? There's very little apology truly in your comments. You didn't address how dismissive you were and how blatantly disrespectful you were in your attitude towards black men and even black women like Celebrity. And if there's one person that you should really be apologizing to and who is on the right side of history, and even Lovely T, right? Yes, Miss Pop Gossip herself in the black community. Lovely T, and there's a number of other black, for all of you brothers on Play Chief, you still ain't name. Halfway apart, y'all claim to care about black women. Y'all be defending black women against black men, and yet when you go against a black woman who's on the right side of history, you still ain't apologize and say her name. Right? My apologies, y'all. I'm working. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. Say Celebrity's name. That's what Mr. Z is saying, right? Thank you, Indigo. Right? That's why I put the song. Ain't no such thing as halfway apologies. And consciously, your apology was a halfway apology. Your apology was a halfway apology, brother. I'm not asking you to get to scrape and beg and bow. That's not me. But you're wrong. And y'all were wrong. And y'all were disrespectful with your wrong. Y'all were aggressive with your wrong. Y'all were dismissive with your wrong. Y'all were snarky, mean, and rude with your wrong. Right? I don't expect you to give the same energy with the apology, although that would be nice. But you didn't even, talk about halfway. You didn't even go halfway with it. This was not an apology. Right? You act like all you did was accidentally bump into someone, right? Like you're walking through the grocery store and you accidentally shoulder check someone. No, brother, no, nope. You and Professor Odie, right? And a number of other black men and women stood on your square, even though y'all knew Rhoda she played y'all. You knew it. And your ego wouldn't let you say, you know what, these brothers were right. The environment is ripe for black women like Rhoda to take advantage of the evil black man. Over every corner is a black man that wants to harm a black woman if they don't think like me and FD and Professor Odie and Eddie and T1J and Foreign Man in a Foreign Land. If they don't think like us and move like us and always got their tongue up some black woman's ass, if they don't think like us, yeah, Rhoda took advantage of that. Carly Russell took advantage of that. Other black women are good. They're going to continue to take advantage of that. Because consciously, you and other brothers and sisters like you created the environment. And I'm speaking about y'all and obviously your ideological elders that helped to pave the road for Rhoda. Y'all created the environment. So this not even halfway apology, your egos would not let you. I looked at Professor Odie, and this is what we be talking about. Like I said, this is why you see a certain level of anti-intellectualism, not just in the black community, but around the West. Right? That's why you see that. Because Professor Odie did all of that gymnastics, tying himself into a pretzel, folding himself into origami, just to not address that. You know what? Rhoda played us. Rhoda took advantage of the narrative that's circulating in the black community that black man bad, black woman good. Black women don't initiate violence. They're not mean, snarky assholes to black men in specific. Right? Rhoda took advantage of the space that you and the Kim Fosters of the world created. And obviously your ideological elders, because most of us, that's engaging with this are under the age of 50. So, many of us are under the age of 40. But the road that y'all helped to pave is that's the road that Carly Russell comes in on. That's the road that Rhoda comes in on. Consciously, the problem is you knew better from the jump. I'm glad that you admitted your ego wouldn't let you. You knew better from the beginning. And Trail says the road to Rhoda, hysterical. You knew better from the beginning. Many of you, I said to FD myself that story was BS. I said it myself, and he still put it in his think piece. I told him myself that Rhoda story, you actually still believe that. He still and I guarantee you he won't retract. I'm still waiting for the apology from FD. But y'all can't help it. Even though FD has quote unquote renounced his understanding of intersectionality because it doesn't quote unquote go far enough, he's still an intersectional feminist at heart. Black women are so put upon, especially by black straight men. And dear consciously, when you have that as the prevailing and dominant narrative circulating amongst your circle, then you leave this big blind spot, big gaping hole. There's a pun in there for Rhoda, for Carly Russell, for black women who knowingly, intentionally, deliberately take advantage of your ideology. And so many of you don't want to just own it. From your side, with the FDs and the Kim Fosters and the foreign man in a foreign land and the fab socialisms and the teen noirs, etc., to the Tanya TKOs and Real Talk with Yanni, Rhoda exposed how much so many of you are invested, whether you're more on the quote unquote intellectual left or you just on the black men ain't ish. Almost slipped there, almost slipped. Whether you're on the swirler divester side, the decenter black men side, or on the quote unquote intellectual left, it doesn't matter, because all of that, when it comes to black men, Rhoda exposed this Brick Gate story, exposed how much y'all are invested in the femicide language when it comes to black men. Over every corner, some black man preying on a black woman, particularly a darker skinned black woman. He either wants to harm her or harass her or sexually or physically abuse her, and right? Black men get off on seeing black women hurt. You got this little almost slipped there. This very sweet voice sounding brother talking about misogyny, passport bros are going to these countries powered by misogyny noir. No. Consciously. To all you black men and black women that occupy that space, black men with the choices and the options, with the resources, are not going to stay in a black community where black women, the matriarchy and the gynocrats, the matriarchs and the gynocrats, demand that you prove yourself to them by kissing their ass and paying fealty by paying and shutting up, paying for her lifestyle, whether she has money or not. I want to be very clear. This is where Ebony K. Williams comes in. Paying for her lifestyle, whether she's degreed up and has the status and the money or not, and then shutting up and moving out the way. In other words, paying for her concepts of negative liberty. Black men are not going to stay in that. Yes, I'm expanding this out consciously to explain what you were defending, because this is bigger than Rhoda, and we all know it. That's why everybody manned their stations, right? Everybody got back into their corners once the Rhoda story dropped, and black men were right on this. And you and the black women that you were quote unquote trying to defend were wrong. And that's the part of your quote unquote apology. That's the part that you didn't want to own. It's not that, okay, you were wrong in my ego, and no. You attempted to defend a known liar and scammer who put their finger to the wind and realized that they can traffic on evil black man targeting me, hit me in the face with a brick because I turned him down and did not give him my number, and then other black men saw that and did nothing. Rhoda knew she could traffic off of that, and she was right. Rhoda knew she could traffic off of that, and she was right. And so many of you were so embarrassed. It wasn't just your ego consciously. It's not Professor Odie's ego. It's not just that. A lot of it is that. It's not just that. Y'all are embarrassed that this woman who clearly is kind of thrown off knew good enough. She had enough sense. She may be a little off, but she had enough sense to know to put her finger to the wind and be like, "Ooh, that black gender war right there. I could take advantage of that if I just sell the black community more black men, evil, bad, can't take no for an answer," and literally hits a black woman in the face with a brick. Right? So no, this is a halfway apology, barely a halfway apology. Because you're still not being 100 with what you were actually defending and why. It's not just your ego. Y'all were embarrassed over there. Huh? Y'all were embarrassed over there. I see Paris Milan ain't come out of hiding. All her femicide talk. And like I said, you're gonna continue to get more of this. Oh yeah, y'all are, because y'all created the environment. Y'all created the environment. Huh? Y'all didn't shut Paris Milan up with the femicide talk. Y'all let another black woman, shout out to Shay Sade, have to be like, wait a minute, does violence, does that even rank? Is that even in the top 10 reasons why black women might die prematurely? No. And there you go. And didn't I say that the other day? And Trail says, hive minds can't apologize until the queen say so. Literally, didn't I just say that the other day? That when I was reviewing Tanya TKO going at consciously, what was I saying? Even black women are looking at you like, shut up, because y'all are embarrassed. Now it was becoming embarrassing to them. Understand what Rhoda did here. Rhoda even had black women cringing at watching Professor Odie and Conscious Lee and all these other black men still come to Rhoda's defense, because black women are like, okay, we're got. The white folks are now on it. We're got. And when black men like you continue to still try to, quote unquote, defend Rhoda, all it exposed was that you're not actually standing on principle. You're engaging in the gender war on the side of black women, but not just any black women. Black women that lie, that have no principles, that are scammers, and that are a little mentally off. That's why they were calling you a simp. That's why they were calling you a placater. Because even when black women were like, okay, yeah, we got black men like you and Professor Odie, y'all egos couldn't let it go. We'd apologize, and even in your own comments, are black people, men and women, both telling, I wouldn't have apologized. Their ego. Because my ego matters more than the fact that I was wrong about believing and advocating for a black woman who took advantage of my ideas of intersectionality and black women always being on the wrong side of black men's aggression. Oh, rest in peace, Pimp C. Indigo said, take that monkey ish off you, embarrassing us. The fake ass Geneva watch with the Ferrari kit. Oh man, Hysterical. Oh man. That was funny, Indigo. That was funny. Right? So that's what it is. Dear dear consciously, that's what it is. And brother, you still ain't really apologized, bro. Shout out to all man, it's so easy. Black you know this is when I become like the inner Jason Black, the inner Professor Black truth. Boy, it's so easy. Black people are so goddamn easy. It's disgusting. It really is. It's disgusting how easy it is. Consciously, we're so passionate, so invested in this Rhoda story. His ego wouldn't let it go. Professor Odie still ain't budged yet. But yet, he gives a not even borderline halfway apology, and all of y'all clapping it up for him. Hercules, Hercules. Stop. He did not say anything. What did he say? His ego was in the way? Yeah, duh. He didn't even show you an ounce of the same passion. The man put on, Mr. Z got a whole lot of fake glasses. The man put on the fake glasses, maybe their prescription, to go over and to condescend. And he was doing it like how the ladies do it. Same thing with Professor Odie. Same thing with so many other black men. Look at the passion at which y'all were talking about Rhoda 4 months ago, and then now when the case got blew open. That's all I'm saying, Shrell. Keep the same energy. So once again, you made your apology about you and not the people you were disrespecting consciously. You weren't upfront about the details and why people had a problem with your stance and framing. You did not address that you and others aligned with Rhoda against black men. You didn't address the fact that Rhoda got your support and other people like you support because she was selling and trafficking on the old trope of bad black man targeting innocent black woman. That narrative. Right? You said you were apologizing for not being brutally honest, and you still weren't brutally honest. Half, if not more than half, of your comments had very little to do with your contrition, about your dismissiveness, and your blatant disrespect and attitude towards black men. And even your attitude towards black women like Celebrity. Right? Huh. Y'all have already decided what side of this quote unquote gender conflict y'all are going to be on. But by the way, Rhoda's not the only one. There's a whole lot of black women all across YouTube, Instagram, TikTok with all these little weird ass takes and retarded ass things they say about black men. And I watch as people like you, people like Professor Odie, people like FD Signifier always attempt to reframe it, always attempt to bring nuance, always attempt to use euphemisms and soften it up. I said it to FD, but when y'all come at black men, it's all type of inward this and inward that and condescending and belittling and disrespectful. Huh? And it would be different if the women were balancing it. No, both black men and black women, elders and young folks, when y'all come at black men, it's all the disrespect in the world, all the condescending in the world, all the insults, all the belittling under the guise of what, quote unquote, constructive criticism and quote unquote, tough love. And then you wonder why these dudes is going to white women and Latinas and passport bros and SYSBM. Huh? But when we talk about black women and when we quote unquote critique them, which we don't, that's when we nuance in euphemisms. And you got to understand the context. And let me see how I can reframe this. FD, I said it to you. Rhoda rode in, talk about road to Rhoda, shout out to Trill. Rhoda rode in on that paved road. Huh? And on that same paved road is a bear trap where consciously leg is in. Huh? But of course. Right? Trail says somebody got to hold the goalpost while it's being moved. And Lion says, Z, we know damn well we either gonna get a half-assed apology or not one at all. Well, at least he gave his little half-assed apology, right? Let me see if Professor Odie says anything. I doubt it. Huh? You see, FD ain't really touch on this too much, but of course not. And he did say, you know, I kind of feel a certain way. Not FD, tell the truth, man. You know what this is? And you knew I was gonna critique this. Oh, you definitely right. And you knew I was gonna frame it correctly. Huh? That's why I'm going in unconsciously right now, because he still didn't frame it correctly. No, it wasn't just your ego. You chose a side in the gender war, and y'all were wrong. Huh? Carly Russell, Juicy Smouye, Rhoda, huh? BLM. What happened? Better Use says, who apologized? Check the link in the description. It consciously gave a less than halfway ass apology. The links are in the description. Right? Huh? Once again, you backed the woman who trafficked on black men hate black women, although they're sexually turned on by black women. And when black women turn them down, black men become violent and attack black women. You aligned with that woman who played on that trope. Right? You aligned with that woman because, once again, consciously, a whole lot of black women and black men that agree with consciously really think there's a crap ton of black men in America who, when turned down by black women, become violent, and then other black men watch them become violent towards black women and do nothing or tell her it's her fault. Right? Thank you, Victor Creed. He gave a I was wrong, but y'all still not right apology. And here's another thing. Thank you for actually saying that, Vic, because that also reminds me. You still didn't address that on camera, it shows her hitting him first. Dear Consciously, you still did not address that on camera, from our understanding, The camera shows that that's Rhoda, struck the man first. There's even black women in your comments saying that. Uh-oh. So like I said, this was less than a halfway apology. Y'all still ain't framing it the right way. Y'all don't have the same passion. Y'all not even dear black men. There's even a way where you could still protect your ego. Look, man, we got to do better, da da da. But yawn, but still, we got to do better. But you know what? Rhoda trafficked on some of. I got to rethink this. I got to, think about where I stand, because Rhoda trafficked on the idea that black men harm and target black women, and we get off on it, and we like it, and we like harming them and disrespecting them and being mean to them. And she used that to get $40,000+. And she was wrong, and I was wrong for believing her. And I was wrong that even when the evidence started to come out to prove her wrong, I was wrong for still holding on to my ego and being disrespectful, mean, and snarky to other black men and even to black women like Celebrity, who showed me the evidence. No, you didn't say none of that. Neither did Professor Odie. There's a way y'all could say this where you could still protect your ego. But y'all can't do it. Because to admit to black men, let's go all the way there, that the black community is a gynocracy, and that black women use the state and use whatever white apparatus they can to regulate Negroes for them, and that it's starting to make sense why there's a Passport Bros and SYSBM. To admit that would be to admit too much. So you gotta protect Rhoda even though you know she lying, because it's bigger than your ego, ain't it? It's about regulating the Negroes for black women, keeping them in line. Huh? Toya said, crap ton is my favorite unit of measurement. Hysterical. Right? Huh. So that's what it is. And we're going to continue to see this, as I said. And yes, and even the people that are attempting to say, Rhoda took advantage of this, and it's the girl that cried wolf. No, 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 no. Y'all still ain't going all the way there. It's gonna make it harder for people to believe black women, and it's already hard for people to believe black women and girls. And we have so many black women and girls that are missing, and it's gonna be so hard for people to believe us now. No, it's bigger than that. Oh no, y'all still ain't framing it correctly. Let's be very clear. As more and more black women traffic on this, a black man broke my heart, or a black man broke up with me, or I couldn't have my way, so I'm gonna go drive my car a zillion miles an hour, run through traffic, and kill a family. Huh? I'm cheating on my husband with this former football player. We get into argument because he has other side chicks. He kicks me out of his house without really being physical, by the way. I'm the one who don't want to leave, and he politely moves me out of his door, and I send my brothers in them to go target him, and he kills one and maims another family member. Huh? I can't get my way with my boyfriend, so I'm going to pretend like I got kidnapped. Huh? As we get more and more of those type of stories, I couldn't get my way with this almost could have been, would have been, should have been football player. So I'm going to lie and say that he raped me. And then apologize for the lying afterward, after I blew through the money. as more and more of those stories come out, I want to know what brothers are like you gonna say when it's proven and shown that these women had better choices and options. They chose to lie on these men because they knew that there would be a steady stream of black men like y'all, Professor Odie, FD Signifier, Eddie, Conscious Lee, T1J, etc., Foreign Man in a Foreign Land, and black women like Kim Foster and T Noir, right? And Nappy Headed Jojoba, etc., that not only will believe them, but even when they're proven wrong, will defend them anyway, particularly against black men. Right? And exactly, Lion, right? He had to kick her out of the football player had to kick her the cheating lion ass side chick who's a wife to another man. He had to kick her out of his own home. She wouldn't leave his house. You know what's super egregious, and this is me responding to Trell's comment. White knights riding in to the rescue. It's not even white knights so much because these women don't actually need defending. They're straight up lying that can seriously bring harm or death, lifetime imprisonment, or a serious multi-year prison stay. They're potentially bringing that to an innocent black man's life. This is the Carolyn Bryanting of black women. Ooh, Z, ooh, you said that. I said it. So black women said, if I can't be white women, I guess I'll be the white women of the black community. For all of you that keep on saying that black men are the white racists of the black community. Are you sure about that? Huh? Are you sure about that? And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Are you sure about that? Because what it's looking like is black women are engaging in the Carolyn Bryant approach to black men. Huh? Ain't that right, Paris Milan? Ain't that right, Lexus Exodus? Ain't that right, Cynthia G? Huh? The Margaret Sanger of the black community, Cynthia G. Ain't that right? Huh? And y'all don't know what to do with it because y'all are so invested in the concept of intersectionality. And I forgot the name of that goddamn mixed-ish looking whatever black woman with the septum ring that hang around with Consciously and they do the panel together. I forgot her name because she was mad, snarky, and rude on this too. Huh? All this new age snark, this unwarranted, unneeded snarkiness, all of y'all doing this fake acting thing. This crap is so corny. Sorry to you Gen Z and young millennial men. I am sorry y'all gotta deal with that. Just these corny, snarky, just lame ass, doing too much ass women. Yawn fest. So, on that, consciously, you just, brother, that was a no real apology. Once again, Indigo Flow, thank you for the super chat. That wasn't a real apology, bro. What's going on, Dr. Thunder? All right. Damie. Tell you how you going to go to noon. Z about to rant till 3. No, I'm not. Hysterical. Oh man. Detroit said Gen A too. I feel sorry for Generation Alpha because if this is what the young millennials and Gen Z got to deal with, oh my God. Maybe the environment is changing, so we'll see. We'll see. I still hold out hope for Generation Alpha, but Jesus Christ, if this is what if this is an indication of what straight black men in Generation Alpha are going to have to deal with, oh my God. On one end, the Kim Fosters, the Ebony K. Williams, whatever the name of that black, I don't know her name, that be with consciously. And then on the other end, on the mad side, the Professor Odis and the conscious Lees. Jesus, I'm sorry. And these are the same people that wonder why your sons are not marrying or not even trying to go out the house or okay with their video games, and they shout out to Dr. Thunder and they Jergens lotion and an internet connection for the video game and for the Wi-Fi on the cell phone. We ain't even gonna tell you what they watching on the cell phone. You already know. If the dating scene is full of Kim Fosters, right, and Khadijahs and whatever the name of this other black woman, I can't remember her name, who'll be with Consciously. If that's what the dating scene is full of, ooh, that's horrible. And Babylon X says her name is Keating Sis. let's make sure. Let's see. Because I think you're right, and we're gonna find out right now. Give me 1 second. Why is it not? Okay, that's why. Give me a second. That's her. Yep, that's the one. That's the one. Thank you. We just gonna call her Keating. Right? Huh. Yawn. This is super snarky, just unbearably snarky. Oh my God. Shout out to wherever her man is, but like I always say, y'all dudes be ending up with these chicks, these women, and y'all think y'all are the exception to the rule. All right. Right. Okay. Absolute insanity. Especially on this Rhoda situation, she was one of the most egregious when it comes to the and the mean snarkiness too, the condescending mean snarkiness. And that, once again, this is who Consciously aligns with. These are the people, and it's very interesting. It's the same thing I say about the Kim Fosters, right? These people engage in the street fight gender conflict, particularly on the internet, particularly on social media, right? But they always frame it like they're responding to black men's bad behavior and sexism and misogyny and war, etc., etc. They never speak like they initiate anything, like they don't get off on this, like they don't like condescending down to, punching down to, insulting and belittling straight black men in particular. Particularly straight black men who are blue collar and who do not align with the godmother, queen, goddess black woman who should be defecating on black men every chance she gets. Because we do not use the same language as them, because we do not subscribe to the same ideology as them, because we do not think that we're accident of birth. These people engage in being condescending, mean, snarky assholes to black men, but they just frame it They just frame it like they're just responding to or tackling black men's sexism, homophobia, colorism, featureism, texturism, and general misogyny, right? This is why you get them telling you don't tone police them when they were dancing on Kevin Samuel's grave. These are the same people, man. And consciously, and Professor Odie and FD Signifier align with those people, and they give those people space by continually trying to contextualize and frame those black women's misbehavior, sexism towards black men, and misandry. While people like Kim Foster have the unmitigated gall to speak about tactical patriarchy. Man, if you don't get the entire hell out of here, when the black community is a goddamn matriarchy, and even FD Signifier know that and says it. Tactical patriarchy. Like I said, the reason why they, Dr. T. Hassan Johnson has said this multiple times, when a younger black woman that kind of tries to pose the question, hey, is it possible that the black community could be a matriarchy? And she gets shushed and kind of run out the back door. Yeah, because to admit that the black community is a matriarchy, everything else makes sense. Everything else makes sense. The dismal reading level of Black Boys and Men, the SYSBM movement, the Passport Bros movement, even though it's not true, the concept of once you get on, he leave your ass for a white girl, all of it makes sense. Once you accept that the black community is a matriarchy, if you want to be kind, a gynocracy, if you want to be accurate, once you accept that, everything that black men are on makes sense. The underperformance of Black boys and men, black boys in particular, makes sense. It makes sense. Right? And Miss Keating and Kim Foster, definitely Kim Foster know the black community is a matriarchy, a gynocracy if you want to be accurate. Kim Foster knows. Don't ever expect her to say it to her subscribers. And quite frankly, I said it to y'all. Donovan said it and kind of tacitly admitted to it on the grapevine years ago, years and years and years ago. And those women that were in there were like, "Ooh, you just said that. You're not supposed to say that, huh?" Let me read this real quick. And Demetrius says, Keating, aka Get Her Jade, is the same lady who went viral for saying that she no longer has the capacity to have empathy for black quote unquote cishet men. Of course not, man. Hey, we not kissing the ass appropriately enough, y'all. Don't you get it, straight black men? Once again, consciously, this is who you align with. This is who you have a podcast with. I'm just saying. This is who you stream with. This is your ride or die, right? This is your day one, right? Okay. A whole lot of black women, Kim Foster, telling you they ain't going to no protest about your life. They don't have the capacity to feel any empathy for you. A whole lot of black women saying that, and a whole lot of black men like FD Signifier and Consciously and Professor Odie still ride with these women. Okay. And they got the nerve to talk about the black community and patriarchy and whatnot. Yeah, that's it. Huh? They got the unmitigated gall to talk about misogyny noir. Huh? While we have, where are the black men that say black women can't even die right? Where are the black men that say that? And y'all got the unmitigated gall, the gumption to speak about black men and misogyny and misogynoir? Where are the black men to say black women can't even die right? Where are the black men to advocate for aborting black little girls, black unborn little girls, babies, fetuses, simply because they're black? Hey, let's say it, black girls are a headache. Black women, black female fetuses grow up to be black girls, and then black girls that grow up to be black women, and we already know we don't find them attractive like that, and colorism and all that, and they become headaches, and they little snarky mean a-holes, and they become Kim Fosters. So maybe we should start aborting black little girls. Or when your baby mama, your wife, or your whoever tells you they're pregnant with a little girl, you need to push her down the stairs. How would that sound if black men started talking like that? You need to make sure she has a miscarriage. Shout out to Corey Holcomb. Go take her on a fair ride. Right? You imagine? And Big Kev says, thank you for the super chat. The lie that the vast majority of black men are vicious misogynists that quote unquote Western women need to be saved from, quote unquote saved from, is what drives the gender conflict. Yes, absolutely. And shout out to you, Big Kev. Absolutely. But that's what these people traffic on. And they want to uphold that stereotype, whether they believe it or not. They need that stereotype. Because let's be frank, white feminists are not friends of black women. They're not. But they'll flick a couple of crumbs off the table for black women if black women come with the black man, boogeyman stories. I already told y'all, man, like, this is what you want to know what grinds my gears, and I'm seeing it more and more, bro. Just a whole lot of people, their idiosyncrasies and their the way they speak and the way they emote is just white girl. It's just white. It's white women. I'm speaking about black men, black women, Latinas, Latinos, Asians. I'm like, what the god damn. Talk about the quote unquote softer hand of colonialism. It's just a whole lot of people emoting like white girls and white women. Dr. Green Gorilla is 100% right. Dr. T. Hassan Johnson is 100% right. The sensibilities of white women, and apparently everybody in our society now has the sensibilities of upper middle class and above white women. So of course what Big Kev is saying here is 100% true, right? Because if we think of A Birth of a Nation, and the movie is built off of evil boogeyman, black man, that the white woman needs to be saved from, then of course all of these women of color subscribe to that too. And who's doing the saving? Oh, wait for it, the racist white man in a hood? KKK anyone? Racist anyone? So of course black women, with their insatiable inferiority complex, and them worshiping at the altar of white womanhood, who's the boogeyman? Black men. Who do they need saving from? Black men. Who's supposed to do the saving? Uh-oh. Right? And once again, thank you for the super chat, Big Kev. And Lion says, and thank you for the super chat, tactical patriarchy, or quote unquote tactical patriarchy, is exactly what today's women want. When you think about it, I call it feminocracy or femocracy. Feminarchy. Yeah, I call it feminarchy, though. Hysterical. Right. Man. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. And this is why well, Obsidian plays it for black women, but I'll be your Huckleberry, right? And Indigo Flow says they need that stereotype. I've called it on multiple channels. James Baldwin said it on a show with Dr. Clark that white people need their inward. 60 years later, it's apparently black women that need him. Yeah, they do, right? And that's all it is, man. So I'm not gonna take too much of your time. Um, I wanted to address consciously today in his half-ass, halfway apology, right? His halfway, half-ass apology, and it's not even halfway, half-ass. And I want to go through these points one more again, and then we'll close out. To consciously, you made your apology about you and not the people that you were disrespecting. You weren't upfront about the details and why people had a problem with your stance and your framing, right? You still did not address that you and others that aligned with Rhoda against black men. Against black men. You didn't address the fact that Rhoda got your support and others like you, your ilk, she got your support because she was selling and trafficking on the old trope of bad black man targeting innocent black women. Once again, that type of narrative. You said you were apologizing for not being brutally honest, and yet you were still not brutally honest. Half, if women like celebrity. That's the issue consciously. That is the issue, right? And so I'm going to wait and see if Professor Odie says anything. He's probably not. And I want to stress this and emphasize this before we close out. What y'all engaged in was very dangerous. Consciously, it's more than just your ego. What you and Professor Odie engaged in is very dangerous to even your own lives. If you're telling society that everyone, including black women, are now empowered to lie on black men, a fictitious black man who targets any and everyone and will physically harm someone for not interacting with them a certain way, which you are telling society, including black women, that is okay to quote unquote defend themselves, murder black men in defense of these people's quote unquote lives for fear, right? Professor Odie, consciously, maybe y'all forgot what world y'all live in. Y'all live in the world where people murder black men and then afterward claim they were in fear for their lives. When you defend Rhoda when she got caught lying and scamming, and you still stand on your square, and then you try to shame black men for telling you, hey, you might want to look at this again. You're wrong. You're on the wrong side of history. She's playing y'all. She knows your ideology. She's using y'all and playing y'all. When you still defend her and defend the other snarky, mean, asshole black women who are trafficking on this black femicide talk, and over every corner is a black man who's preying on a black woman, and we're saying that because black men don't kiss our ass appropriately. When you defend Rhoda and black women like Rhoda You are saying that it is okay to lie on black men and potentially have black men thrown in prison, if not murdered, by a vigilante or the state because someone felt quote unquote fearful. That includes black women. Right? And on that note, everyone, we will pause right here, truly. Right? Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content. Dr. Thunder is streaming right now. Other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. So y'all don't sound like Conscious Lee and Professor Odie and a number of other people who knowingly were defending Rhoda because their egos wouldn't let them admit that they lost to the Black Manosphere again. That they're on the wrong side of history again. That defending these lying, mean, snarky, asshole black women got y'all looking like retards. Wait for it again. Shout out to BLM. Oops. Huh. And as I said before, you're going to continue to get Rhodas. Oh, you better believe it. You better believe it. Because y'all helped to pave the road for them. You and your ideological elders. So to consciously, thank you, but no thank you for your not even halfway apology. And on that note, everyone, y'all have a great, great, great rest of y'all day. Mr. Z out. Y'all go check out Dr. Thunder. And y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Mr. Z out, everyone.